you would have the borehole and you would have a mechanical meter. So the mechanical meter, as the fluid would go through the mechanical meter, it will turn it, and you will get some reading which you could take. So the idea we're looking at now is we could use solar panels, so we use solar. We could use wind turbine. We could use water, and any of those would generate electricity. Where we would charge batteries. So we run the instrumentation then off batteries. So let's say a flow meter. A flow meter is giving you a flow rate of what's coming out the boiler, or coming out of the borehole. Then we want to take it further than that. So now we have an electronic device that we can get much more information from. So the idea then would be, with the use of solar, we could power loggers, we could power GSM technology. Then, like for example in Namibia, what we do, that information required an operator to go to each one of the different boreholes, and he'd have a cycle of a month, and they would get the readings of the different flow meters. Now, powering the logger, powering the GSM technology, we can send it to a central spot and retrieve our information there. In addition to that, we can go and look at the instrument if there is some problem with it. So we're actually there already. We would have a solar panel, a small solar panel designed with sufficient power to be able to drive small systems like that. In the future, I suppose we'd be looking at solar that could power, maybe a complete pump station, but we're not nearly there yet. Okay, so it's really small systems now, and all of them are working on DC power.
On batteries, and the solar is a supporting system to refuel, recharge the batteries, yes, so that the system keeps...
So what we do is, let's say we charge the battery, then it runs off the battery, much the same as, let's say, your automatic gate. It's running off the battery. If the power goes away, the battery can run for another 7 days. In the instruments as well, we charge the capacitor. So we charge the capacitor, and then we can run on the capacitor, let's say, for another 5 days or another 21 days, dependent on the load that we're drawing from that on that specific instrument. So we would limit the load that we draw to extend the life of the battery. Be sufficient for rural areas. Charge your cell phone, have a light going, and have your computer. Because having the computer then gives you access to the internet, plus it gives you, where you can send information back and forth.
And study. People study.
Or studying as well. But if you think for the studying, you could also use solar lights. So you charge your solar light through the day, and then in the evening you've got maybe 4 hours to use it. Then you can have more of those solar lights. So you wouldn't have one solar light. Maybe you'd have 10 solar lights.
Couldn't you say that anything with its own little built-in battery, like a computer or a cell phone, perfect for a solar panel in a domestic environment? Those two things would be so useful in a rural area.
I represent the Perfect Grower Foundation, which is in partnership with Enel Green Power South Africa and WUSA, which is Women in Energy and Oil. And together we are implementing, or let me say installing, recyclable or solar powered street lights made from recyclable components. So that's like 2-liter bottles, copper, that kind of thing. And then what we do is we don't only focus on installing those, but we engage the community whereby we train them to assemble the street lights and install their own street lights, and start many businesses where they can sell these street lights to other communities, other provinces, and run with their job work.
To make feasible the use of solar energy for instrumentation in rural areas,
And there are some basic constraints that we have to take into consideration. Basically, the security issue, there's a risk of vandalism in many of these places where we install systems, so this has to be taken into account. And another critical issue is how to make it more feasible by integrating the system. There is a risk of vandalism in many of these installation points. And the second is to make it more feasible, we should integrate the application with some other domestic uses that will attract really the attention and need of the people. So integrate it with more domestic use like light, cell phone.
Implementation is step, right? So let's see how we can integrate that point and that output that came out of that roundtable discussion into how to curb electricity theft and vandalism.
Electricity theft is generally to do with members of the public generally get to steal electricity. They don't want to pay for the electricity they use, so they'll come up with ways and means to make sure they bypass. Now, customizing the board, the nuts, making it difficult for whoever wants to remove them to take them off. And we're also, from my side, we're looking at trying to have sealed transformers so that there's minimal transformer oil. We are lucky that our countries are coming up with legislation. In Zimbabwe, it's actually a maximum of 10 years penalty if locked up without an option of a fine if you are found guilty and is proven beyond doubt. You got a brother from Benin who came up with vandalism of solar infrastructure, where he's saying members of the public get to be rowdy at times, and it's normally done when people least expect it. So they try to give ownership to members of the public so that they can not, or rather that they don't get to tamper with the installations. And then between Zimbabwe and South Africa, we have also set up revenue assurance departments, which are monitoring the prepayment systems, where we look at how much people are buying electricity. Where there's zero purchases, want to investigate, low purchases, want to know why somebody is buying electricity. But however, we are trying to engage engineering departments so that they can come up with some designs that are tamper-proof for the conductor, which finds its way to wherever for reuse, copper. And in my country, we are reconducting where we are removing copper, replacing with aluminium. And that has reduced the vandalism statistics a little. And then the transformers, like I'm saying, we're looking at using sealed ones or using colored oil, but all that is still in the development stage or the planning stage. So for now, I think with the little time that we had, and then we also got the prepaid route to try and curb theft of electricity. Right. So in summer, I think we lost more than 2 million in terms of damage, and then that means 2 million waste.
The diesel generator running at the 99% efficiency or power, pushing it out there, can operate at anything from 18 to 25 cents per kilowatt hour. When it falls down to a 50% level, when the demand's not there, it still needs to run. It's going above $1 per kilowatt hour. If a battery is next to a diesel generator and it's taking that off-peak load, which it's not being utilized and storing it, and suddenly the battery is there to offer you up the peak, it has a major impact on the kilowatt hour cost. So suddenly you're getting down to the 14, 15 cents from a kilowatt hour. It's for a shopping center where you're running solar with battery and gas. Suddenly you're reaching the levels of 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Now people put the energy into the battery, not just the battery cost on its own. In cases where technologies are limited, I mean, batteries are not all equal. And this sounds strange. Why not? Well, batteries, the value of batteries doesn't really just lie also in the efficiency. It lies in the actual bankability behind the efficiency, the sustainability of the battery over the peak of the PPA or the utilization of the utility. And these things are also things that you need to take into consideration, because a lot of the time the efficiencies are played, but the bankability is not there for the battery, which end of the day fails the financial modeling as well. And then lastly, it's very important to understand once again where the power comes from. Utilizing specifically in a power pool, you're talking about West Africa and stuff, you know, looking at power pools and the coming of power pools, it's important. I mean, if you've got a neighbor with hydro that's not utilizing his hydro in the evenings fully, using all the power between 2 and 3 in the morning, it's the perfect type of environment for batteries. Why? Batteries can be stored at the lowest cost time, when energy is the cheapest, and being released at the point where you need energy the most. And that's where the revolution of the battery is coming in. It's not the battery itself, it's the actual ability to choose when you need it. Okay, when you charge it and when you want to utilize it. And that's where the strength